Hey, Facebook. For the record, I've asked him to put you in this logo for about a month.
He's working on it. He showed me. Because he wanted to redo the whole thing.
And he can do whatever he wants to do.
But,
I just don't want people to think that you have been...
Oh, no.
That you were
he keeps
not
trying
worthy
to
of the
work on
logo.
it, and he keeps trying to find new things. And then he's like, oh. But the last time he just put me kind of next to you between Nick and church.
Uh-oh, that's me.
I would have thought he would have put you in right away on top.
I told him to I told him to add some
just because he loves you.
I told him to add some ductwork and have you just hanging out of it and waving.
That would be awesome.
I told him in cleaning up what will be my game room. We have a Thor Ragnarok poster that they've given away at the movies.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's what we need to do, and we just need to have all of us. And he's like, we can't do that because it's long and it's short, and And I was like,
oh yeah, they don't make landscape posters really anymore.
No, I was like, but because Goldblum was in it, I was like, he could be Goldblum because of the birthday. You were singing the birthday. It's my birthday, and I was like, I could be Hulk. He's like, we would have to.
Yeah, Nick, we didn't like your last.
And I was like, oh, okay.
I would enjoy being Goldblum.
Right, because then he was like, well, he could be Loki, and I was like, no. I was very adamant.
Me?
I was like, yeah.
Don't give him any more.
I'm already Loki.
Right? And I was like,
I'm
no.
already
Loki didn't sing. It's my birthday.
That's true. There's my mom.
Church
Hey, Mom.
And Goldblum did.
Do you know that for a fact that it wasn't Loki?
Yeah.
Could have been. All right.
Basically, the only drawback of being Loki, aside from frequently dying,
Frequent death.
is occasionally Thor just picks me up and throws me at people.
That's true.
What's that called?
Get help.
Yes. Brian Sam's responsible for putting stuff on YouTube. How are you? It's episode 119 of Gather the Nerds. I'm Cav. That's Shanther.
Hi.
Church is here.
Hey, guys.
Hannah's here.
Hi.
Nick is off fighting one of the giant carp from Zelda. He should be back next week. Yeah, there's my mom. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. How are you?
Hi, Kev's mom.
And I'm getting text messages. Yep, and I bet you that's Tyler. Hi, Tyler. So we are here. We've got some Marvel stuff to talk about. First things first, I want to give a huge thank you to Fan Expo Dallas. We are covering Fan Expo Dallas as media this year. So we got our media passes, which is awesome. So we're very excited about that. I've put in the list, even though they said, you can put in a list of whoever you want to try and talk to. Now, if they're celebrities, don't bet on it. So I went a little bit of a different direction. I went with people like Tara Strong, and I mean, I had to put Barrowman on the list because you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Yeah.
Everyone would want to see Barrowman. If you don't want to see Barrowman, raise your hands.
Riddler is raising his hand. This is what makes him a villain.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Added Kari Payton, who plays King Ezekiel on Walking Dead, but he's also the voice of Cyborg on Teen Titans and things like that. So I added basically a lot of voice actors and things like that, which we might have better shot. And then I also added Michael Rosenbaum too, because I just want to talk to him. His podcast is very entertaining if you've never listened to it. He's also on Cameo now, where basically you send them money and they record a video message and send it to you. I'm really tempted to say, I want you to say this. Yes, I'll be happy to talk with you at Fan Expo Dallas. We have a verbal contract that this is supposed to happen.
Yes.
I thought it's one of the...
That's awesome.
It is one of those things. Hi, Tara.
Tara Strong?
Tara Kerr.
I was about to say, I got her. Wow.
Already. And there's Lynn. Hi, Lynn. All right.
Hey, Sam.
So we have some Marvel, some DC, little TV, giant elephant, Star Wars news, and gaming. Shanther, where would you like to begin?
I'm going to go with giant elephant.
Hannah, Operation Dumbo Drop?
Yes! I did not know how to put that in there because it's just my thoughts. It's not like a link or anything. But I had this revelation, and I'm pretty sure everyone else has already had this.
Okay.
But I wanted to talk about it.
Okay. What is your...
Okay, you guys. You know Danny DeVito is in it, right?
Yes.
You know Michael Keaton is in it, right?
True. Batman
and Penguin, and it's by Tim Burton. I mean, I don't think Tim Burton did the second one when he was Penguin. But...
No, he did.
Okay.
Yeah, he did.
So see, It's like that thing where if you live long enough, you watch yourself become the villain. 'Cause I'm pretty sure Michael Keaton is the villain in this.
Yeah, he looks like he's the villain.
You're not
Why
wrong.
aren't you bringing it up? Can you hear me from here?
A little, yeah. Go a little bit closer, but yeah.
Also, Michael Keaton stole Dumbo's mom. I mean, that's a big thing.
So, yes, he is the villain.
Right, but I'm
that's
just
fairly
saying,
established.
Batman has mom issues, and he's repeating the cycle with Dumbo's mom.
This elephant's name is Martha.
He's stealing Dumbo's mom.
That's true.
I hadn't thought about it, but that's a good point.
I'm shocked you're not mentioning Michelle Pfeiffer in it yet.
She's in it.
Yeah. She posted
I
on
didn't know she was
Instagram.
in it either.
She posted on Instagram. Is she in it? I thought she was. She posted on Instagram. She found her.
Unexpected backup from Canada.
Yeah, I had this thing of the trailer, and I thought maybe not. She posted on Instagram that she found her Catwoman whip, like she found the actual prop whip or whatever. But that's a good point. Okay, do you think there has to be at least one very subtle Batman reference? There has to be.
Well, there's the top hat, because Penguin had a top hat.
That's
for
true.
The movie. I feel like Danny DeVito just kept it. I saw this meme. That's what started the whole thing. It was like, Tim Burton wants you to be in this movie. Do you want to talk to him? And he's like, no. I'll go ahead and do it. You don't have to tell him. Let me just go get my top hat.
Speaking of movie tie-ins, they dropped a new trailer for John Wick. And have you seen it yet? There's literally a section in John Wick where he's talking to one of the guys from the Continental. He's like, what do you need? And he literally says verbatim, guns. Lots of guns.
Seriously?
Seriously. Like,
That's
it's right there.
fantastic. Love the reference. But,
Speaking of that 20th anniversary of The Matrix this weekend, they're playing it at Cinemark tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
Uh-oh.
Yep. In the D-Box theaters.
Okay. Ooh. Okay, that would actually be the movie I would want to see in those chairs.
Yeah. I just found that out about 5 minutes ago. He's just looking like, yes.
Yeah. And kudos to them for getting that line in there, because that is we can trace back where Keanu's career was just going, and all of a sudden just went like that.
Yeah.
And trace it back to one particular movie. So
Bill
and Ted's.
Bill and Ted's.
3, which they
So-
announced this week. They're going to start filming, yeah.
Kudos to them for still getting those references in and recognizing.
Yep.
Stick to your guns, Keanu.
Yep. And Jeremy says this episode is hot. Apparently he had some very hot chicken yesterday.
Oh,
or
yeah,
something.
you have a story for you. Yeah, that was going to make the episode anyway.
Yeah. Lynn says, what do you guys need to do Bill and Ted 3? Guns. Lots of guns. John Wick 3 is Bill and Ted's 3. They just haven't told us yet.
We're going to get Rufus back.
Nice. Oh, and then,
Shorty.
so speaking of DC, another early screening tonight, or today and tonight, they are screening Shazam 2 weeks early. Warren has it, so I'm going to go tonight at 7 to take it to watch it. I'm going with my mom. It's going to be awesome.
Tickets left?
There are tickets left. It is in a regular theater, not recliners or anything, but they are. There were some left when I was looking at that yesterday. So 2 weeks early
What do you think?
for Shazam.
We'll talk about it.
I need to know.
You gotta pick. 'Cause
Right?
Otherwise,
Matrix.
it's a movie a
Both.
night.
Yep. So, speaking of Shazam, I guess there was a whole bunch of even more angry internet than normal about the whole Captain Marvel thing. And Zach Levi came out and said, you guys are dumb, basically. In the only way that he can. He did I don't know if it was a Facebook Live or an Instagram or something like that, basically posting a video saying, here's the deal. Stop trying to put these two movies against each other. That's not the point. And stop all the lies and stuff, whatever. Because some people, I guess, were taking some shots at Brie Larson, stuff like that. And he was very clear. He's like, she doesn't need me to stand up for her, but this is dumb. He said in an interview, I just think it's important to stand for what's right. I think it's important to stand for what is true. And I think that if we can speak truth and love, then we are doing our job in the world. I wasn't really privy to a lot of the stuff that was going on with that. I was just getting hit on Twitter by a lot of people saying clearly, false inflammatory things about Brie, about Captain Marvel, and looping a Shazam into that. And I'm like, no. I'm not going to be part of these lies or defamation, nor is this movie, or nor should any of you. There's no reason why any of this needs to be going on. Then other people got upset because they're like, oh, we were just leaving our honest comments on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, I'm not talking about your Rotten Tomatoes comments. I'm talking about actual fabrications and defamation online. Levi said he has a lot of love for Brie. He's like, and I don't think Brie needs me to defend Brie, but we all need to defend what is true. And if we have an opportunity to do that, I had an opportunity to do that, I wanted to be able to do that.
Yes.
My mom, English teacher, is like, there's so much better sentence structure there.
Hi, April. Hey, Matt.
So, hey, Matt. So, yeah, there's, for the people who have seen Shazam online, or have seen Shazam, a lot of the initial reactions are very, very positive.
It looks good.
It looks fun.
I feel like maybe, I know there's a lot of horrible stuff, but I feel like part of what might have done that between the two of them was because Shazam was originally called Captain Marvel, right?
Yep.
And I feel like when people joke about it, because you know that, it's funny. But then if you get like the trolls and stuff involved who don't know, they think you're making fun of.
Yeah. And I mean, it is lighthearted as Captain or as Shazam appears to be. Like, you have to wonder if they're not going to make just one kind of veiled shot at it.
Oh, they should.
Like when they're trying to figure out what his superhero name should be or something like that. What about Captain Marvel? And they'll stop it like before he says Marvel, something like that. I'll let you know. It should be fun.
Yeah,
What if they get halfway through the word and everyone else in the scene just goes, shh?
I feel like all of those origins usually have something like that for some sort of embarrassing history part of their character.
Yeah.
Aren't they already going to call him Captain Sparklefingers or something?
Are they really?
They did say that in the
Just a sec.
in the trailer. I saw the boy, his friend, was like, he's Captain Sparklefingers, and then he was like, no, I'm not.
Nice.
So,
That's gonna be.
I believe this is going to be really good.
I think so.
It looks fun.
You take what they did with Aquaman, and Aquaman made $1 bajillion because that movie was, it was big and it was a DC movie, but it was fun.
mm-hmm.
Like, there were some dark points in it, but it was more fun. It was more Marvel DC than DC.
I feel like they're finally starting to get it. Like,
To figure
you
that
can't be
part
dark
out.
all of the time, guys. You have to.
You can't be dark all the time.
Yeah.
Well, because all of Batman and
That's
even
what
the
DC
Superman
stands for.
one, it was
Dark
so-
comics.
It was just like you
Dark
have to have
comics.
some
Dark
sort
cinema.
of humor. A
Exactly.
little bit. Quit making people leave your movies depressed.
But you have to think about this. The one person that you can really probably blame for a lot of this is Joel Schumacher, because they swung so hard the other direction with Batman Forever and Batman and Robin being fun and over the top and whatever, and fandom turned on them. So they went all the way back the other way with Nolan and all of that. But even the Nolan movies are dark, but they don't feel as depressing.
Right. Well, and you
Yeah.
have the dialogue between, like, you have anything with Alfred.
Yeah.
And then even Joker is because he's Joker, like, he's still funny.
Yeah.
Like, in a twisted sense of ways. So I think you had some, I don't want to say lightheartedness, but
Yeah. It's just so crazy. It's funny. Like, it's
Right.
yeah.
in Batman, like, I understand if he's dark, he's Batman.
Yeah.
But, like,
He's Batman.
everything else, I'm like, come on, guys, not everything has to be like Batman, right?
Well, speaking of Batman, is the 80th anniversary of Batman, so DC Universe Online is basically for all non-subscribers. You are getting access to almost everything Batman related. Batman comics, Batman TV, and films as well. The Nolan ones are not in there, but all the Tim Burton, Joel Schumacher ones are in there. The animated series there, Justice League is there, Super Friends is there, Mask of the Phantasm is there. A lot of the Batman animated DC movies are also there, and a lot of the comics as well. So if you're not a subscriber of DC Universe Online, you should be able to get and do
By
that.
tomorrow, basically.
Yeah, so they're also running a new special right now that anyone who signs up between March 29th and April 4th, your first month of DC Universe will cost you 80 cents. So,
80 cents.
80 cents.
80 cents.
That's a lot of binging in one month.
That is a lot of binging.
She's like,
Yeah.
it's kind of a smile, but it's also there's a death glare behind there.
Because that's 3 times.
She
You
is
put her on the spot.
I know.
Constantly. That's
I
okay.
know.
I'll win
That's
her
why
back with my cuteness.
that's why Nick has the lightsaber back there. You can
Oh,
just
that's
whack
fine.
him with it.
Hey, look how cute I am.
Whack him with it.
She is constantly falling in and out of love with me.
In and out. Nice.
Ebb and flow.
Nice.
It's okay. She's got a crush on me. It helps.
Just whack him with a lightsaber, please. In other superhero news, there is cable TV. This isn't in the agenda, but CableTV.com is doing a contest, basically asking somebody to binge the entire MCU over 3 days,
I saw that.
live tweet it, things like that. But you will do so. You will get rewarded for so. The person they choose is $1,000, a bunch of Marvel gear, and like the entire MCU on Blu-ray, and a bunch of other stuff like a Captain America popcorn popper, and some other stuff. So, if you're interested in that, you should check that out. In other Avengers and MCU related news, one of the reasons we might not have tickets for Avengers yet is because up until now, and even now it's still kind of up in there, is they are just now getting the theaters, the runtime. Hi, Tyler. Tyler with his high and a smiling pile of poop. I love it. So
Tyler's Misty?
that Tyler's Misty's son.
Oh, okay.
So
Hi, Tyler.
so we don't know. Right now, theaters are just getting the actual runtime for Avengers Endgame, and there was somebody who's basically said it is the same runtime as the current holder of the longest modern superhero movie title. Some people thought, oh, that's Dark Knight Rises, but he's actually talking about Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Edition, the one that got released on disc.
Yeah.
3 hours, 3 minutes. So that means Avengers Endgame, it looks like it is all but confirmed. 3 hours, 3 minutes.
Still okay with that.
Good, yeah, absolutely.
I am thrilled about.
You need something like that to wrap us up.
You really do.
Don't rush it into 2 hours, even though it's the second chapter.
Yeah.
It's the final, the completion of a 2-hour movie last year. You're still gonna need the time.
Yeah. Even some people said what is most intriguing about this is like between the two trailers, we've seen a whopping like 3 minutes of footage.
Yeah.
So there's still 3 hours of things we haven't seen.
The latest trailer was half-old footage.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true.
And amazing job by
Hey, Joey.
them to breathe new life into that.
Oh
that
yeah,
stuff and make that where it's stuff we've seen before, yet we're scouring it.
yeah.
For
Black
clues.
and white. What's highlighted in red? What's Speaking of, or to wrap this part up, now that we potentially have a runtime for Avengers Endgame, expect tickets somewhat in the near future. Speaking of potential trailers or tickets, nobody knows. Tom Holland, in the only way that Tom Holland can, he tweets. He basically tweets something online and just says, "Monday morning." ... So there's two theories here. There is the theory that there will be a new Spider-Man trailer.
Ooh.
For Far From Home, or that's when in-game tickets are going to go on sale.
Or he just really doesn't like Monday mornings.
Or he just really doesn't like Monday mornings.
Or
he
finally
treated it on a
decided
Wednesday.
to take advantage of his spoilery ways and start trolling us.
That's true. I mean, it is Tom Holland. The thing that just makes it
Don't
just
lie to me, Tom.
Did you see, speaking of spoilers, did you see when I think this last time when they dropped the trailer, that, and it showed Bruce, and then when Mark Ruffalo had posted on his Instagram, he was like, "Guess I didn't get fired." And then the Russo brothers commented it, and it was like, "That has not been confirmed."
nice.
What is it they say throughout the trailer? It's the theme of this one.
Whatever
Like,
it takes.
That's what it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so maybe they're using Tom Holland. They said they haven't really used him in the marketing for the movie thus far because he's dust.
Not intentionally.
Yeah, not intentionally. So maybe you get that, or we get tickets Monday morning. Who knows? It's going to be awesome either way. I've literally, like, 6 or 7 times a day, I'm on the website refreshing on those dates looking for
Honestly,
tickets.
I am surprised it is not more.
Yeah.
I feel like, though, do you use Tom Holland for marketing, given his spoilery ways?
I think you feed him a bunch of false information
Yeah.
and see
Right.
what comes
You do
out.
that,
yeah.
I mean, he is an actor. This could all be an act.
We
It's
look for
unlikely.
that now the fan base looks for it.
Oh,
From
yeah.
Holland.
Yeah, they look for any... Hey, Tyler. They look for any... anything from anybody that's doing press right
And
now.
honestly, we're just going to be as entertained if it's a red herring.
Oh, yeah. We're not going to care if it's false or not. We absolutely will not care. It is now official. The Disney-Fox merger is done. It's official. Disney-Fox are one thing. So X-Men and Fantastic Four are home in the Marvel Universe, which is good. If you now Spider-Man's not, because Spider-Man still belongs to Sony. But if you like X-Men and Fantastic Four, we should see them hopefully in the MCU at some point. But they will be complete and total reboots. So we're going to get Dark Phoenix, that movie, and then that X-Men universe is gone, for the most part. There's that New Mutants movie that Nick is very scared of. And
Not just Nick. That worries me.
and they are talking about that they might actually shelf that movie and release it on the Disney streaming service instead. Because it has no...
I'm okay with that.
Apparently that angers Church a little bit.
I want to see this on the screen.
Yep.
I have been for like 100 years practically, and
Yeah.
I probably will for the next 100 years
But
because
New
that's how
Mutants
long they're going to
isn't
shelve it for.
scary.
What?
The comics weren't scary.
They weren't, but I'm okay. I'm okay with them taking a.
No.
I'm okay with them taking a little bit of a turn. Now,
Jeremy, that's heresy, by the
it
way.
could be awful. It could be, and if so, you can say I told you so. That's absolutely fine.
I told you so.
Well, the fact that they had to reshoot a bunch and add a new character
I do too.
tells me that movie's got major problems.
Do it.
They had to reshoot and add an entire new character into the
Oh.
film, which is why it got delayed. Like, that tells me that movie has problems. Big problems.
Like, I'll gladly be wrong if it turns out that it is amazing. But as of right now, I'm okay if it doesn't see it.
Yeah.
Well, I understand going for a new genre. If they hadn't gone for a comedy, then we never would have gotten to Ragnarok, which
True.
the Thor comics are not. I mean, there's humor in there because Loki is funny, but they're not that level. So if they want to take a smaller property like New Mutants, and I'm not in any way bashing New Mutants, but it's not a flagship.
Yeah, no, I
team.
Yeah.
So if they want to try and experiment with that, go for it. It wasn't an MCU property, so the credibility isn't as high yet. But
Think of it this way. If they release on Disney streaming service and it does well there, maybe you get a series out of it.
you might get a series out of it. Yeah,
Even the
I'm
short
okay-
run
I'm okay
series,
with
yeah.
that. I just wanted to see it on the big screen.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay if it does get released on the big screen. I'm just okay if it doesn't.
Maybe they'll do a limited engagement thing. They'll put it on a few hundred screens across the country.
That
Yeah,
would be okay.
maybe.
Yeah.
If it's a scary movie which we go see a total sum of 0 scary movies in the theaters. If it's one that I'm interested in and actually would want to see, I want to see it in a theater.
Yeah.
Because as much as it amplifies everything else, it's going to amplify the intensity and the
Yep.
just overall creepiness.
No, I will say, because in the trailers for New Mutants, I never really, you never really know what's causing the scariness. So if it turns out that it's like a mutant that's doing it, or if it's something like Legion, where it's like all in someone's mind or something, then I think that would be awesome. If they incorporated some sort of twist so where it wasn't just they're in a haunted weird thing and they can't escape.
Yeah.
Then.
I would not put it past them at all to do that.
Yeah.
In fact, I would lean more right off the bat that it's that.
Yeah. The one part of the franchise, of all the franchises that are coming over, that is not being changed, according to Bob Iger, Disney CEO, Deadpool is going to remain Deadpool. in terms of that the R-rated thing could remain as part of that studio. That's the only one that is not likely to get a reboot, which I think is smart considering it makes them a fortune. It was probably one of the driving forces of why the acquisition was so expensive, because that's a property that can live on for a long, long time. One thing that is getting rebooted out of that, though, word on the street, is that all the Marvel television shows are going to get rebooted as well at some point. It's going to be a while.
Say it isn't so.
Yes, but all of them are getting rebooted. So if you like the original stuff, in 130 days, 14 hours, 31 minutes, Prop Store is having a live auction for props from Daredevil, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. Up on the auction block are going to be Matt Murdock's red glasses, his aluminum baton, a full Daredevil suit. Church, I think you need it.
If you can hook me up on that.
Nelson and Murdoch sign, Elektra's size and her costume, Pop swear jar from Luke Cage, one of Luke Cage's bullet-ridden hoodies, Misty Knight's bionic arm, Danny Rand's stunt yellow Iron Fist mask, some sort of tapestry case, Colleen Wing's katana, and many, many other things. So that is happening in 130 days from the Prop Store. If anything, that's going to be fun to watch, just to see.
Does that mean then that they're not... I guess as we know it, they wouldn't be going to the Disney streaming.
Not as we know it, but if they bring those characters back on Disney streaming, it's likely to feel different. Different
not have
actors.
Our same people.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Yeah, that is not what I want. But unfortunately, that's just how it goes. Like I said,
what if it is the same actors, and everything's just the same, and it's a continuation, but they realize, man, we sold all our stuff. The options I may have to track
need
down
that
and
back.
get back from.
yeah. That's why he's back to the black suit. And he's like, I just don't have. I'm out of clothes.
Laundry day.
Yeah, Laundry Day. Daredevil, Laundry Day. That's the next season. In other television news, if you consider Netflix TV, we got an awesome new trailer for Stranger Things Season 3. A few fun things. Like, this is straight up 80s. Like, this is my wheelhouse. Like, I love everything about that trailer. I mean, from the music to the look to everything.
It's childhood.
Yeah.
And it is closer to us than ever before these days.
Yeah. It really is. And so July 4th is when that comes out, but it also takes place partly on July 4th in 1985. But you see some things in the movie in the trailer in terms of, they're growing up, we're not kids anymore. People have coupled off, Mike and Eleven and Lucas and Max, and poor Dustin seems
Dustin.
I know, but
Dustin's got Steve.
Dustin has Steve, yes.
His bestie.
In the,
How many children are you friends with?
And he's just like, and here's the thing, it's not like he's not offended by that statement. He's like, look what I have to work with.
Yeah,
It's like, I have to save these people, like every other day somehow.
Yeah, every other time. Like, we know the beautiful mullet is back. He appears to be a lifeguard of some kind.
Baywatching.
Did you realize that the lady that gives him a look is Mike's mom? I had completely forgotten about that.
Seriously?
From
Is it really?
the previous one? Yes, I did not realize that was her.
I did not realize that was
Mom can get it.
Wow.
Wow. That's terrible. I believe that's our title. But
I don't see how it's complicated. I'm complimenting her.
Mike's mom and beautiful mullet.
Not both of them together.
Complicated.
Oh, I was like, I'm not for that.
Hashtag it's complicated.
I just mean, in general, that lady is nice looking.
There's stuff that is not as nice looking. We have some new, like, monster demogorgon insect looking thing.
Maybe that's the teenage version of it. Because you had the little
babies.
Oh, yeah.
And then now.
You had the big giant one.
Yeah.
And the darts going through adolescence.
Oh, great.
It's true. You've got
Hormonal dart.
Hormonal dart. You have people going through what look like a mirror maze, and the dude's got a gun with a silencer on it. So I don't know what that's all about. Carrie Elwes is he's the mayor or something, and that alone for comedy is going to be amazing. And there's a lot of people looking very scared, and and I don't know whose arm it is. Did you see somebody has something in them? it's like a dark thing spreading in their arm, and I don't know who that was.
I thought that it was Beautiful Mullet.
Was it? I couldn't
Oh,
tell.
I think so.
I couldn't tell because they do it really quickly.
It's a very quick
I need
cut.
to go through the
I
trailer.
think
and
it
do
like
the frame by
shows
frame.
his hair real quick or
I
something.
think it was
very
him, though.
quick.
So, all right,
Yeah.
Jason, you're
Is
gonna
that-
have some spooky stuff.
Great.
going
Well, that's how they're gonna kill Beautiful Mullet.
I'm okay with that. Too.
Me too. He's the new Bob.
No,
No,
one
Bob was nice.
No one wanted Bob to die. We're okay with Mullet dying.
Yeah,
Carrie Ewells will be the new Bob. I'm
That's
gonna call
true.
that right now.
Yeah.
that's true. But yeah, it's like all the kids goof around at the mall, and it's like having all this other stuff. Like, it's basically our youth,
The
essentially.
joy in the film or in this trailer when you see Eleven and Max
Dancing.
enter the mall
Oh yeah.
and they're like
And-
so in awe.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Yeah.
guys.
That is.
But yes, the dancing.
The
too.
dancing
I was
part,
So
they're
happy
dancing,
That
yeah.
11 has a friend that's a girl.
So, it's gonna be. Here's the thing. So, but you also have like from the other side, you've got 11 who's doing, or Millie Bobby Brown who's doing a movie. She's in the new Godzilla and things like that. I don't think they would do this, but would they pull something so hard as killing off 11 because she wants to go do movies and stuff like
I
that?
hope not, because I thought they were gonna. They had already
think so?
confirmed there was gonna be like
Show ender.
5 chapters.
5 seasons, but
5 seasons.
I don't know who's contracted to what.
So surely they could work with her
Show
for
ender.
one more season.
You think?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they've set up a universe here with
Yeah.
other not 11s but other numbers out there.
True.
But you get rid of 11, and
Yeah.
I
I'm
don't
just-
see how you can keep your steam.
What I'll be really curious about is because she was shooting things like Godzilla and things like that, like how much is she actually in the show this season? I think that will tell us a lot. If she's in there all the time, that's one thing. But if she shows up and it's like, oh, there's, Mike and Dustin and everybody else, and she's in there half the time, I think that's sort of telling in terms of what that future might be. But like you said, they set up other 11s, and I think that episode was trying to be a backdoor pilot, that's for Josh, for a spin-off show.
It was.
And I don't think it really, everyone's like, yeah, no.
It didn't.
Well, yeah, it didn't resonate.
No.
I would be okay with a spinoff, but how they did it, it did not seem to
Yeah.
go with what was actually going on in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the
Yeah.
characters
Coalesce.
weren't endearing. It was, okay, great, everybody's broken, I get it, but
Yeah.
there's something about 11 heart. There's more heart with the kids
Yeah.
than there was with any of those other characters, and that's the
Because
show that I want to watch.
they're
That's
older
the
and bitter.
universe. Yeah.
What about
Yeah, I get enough of that
a
in my daily
spinoff?
life. So
I'm not like
sorry,
that.
no, not with you,
was waiting.
you goof.
I
Okay,
know.
but what about this?
You're down to one movie
Spin-off
this weekend.
At home.
with a new number person in the 90s.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. The early 90s.
Early 90s.
Oh, that
I mean,
guy.
Dark Phoenix is mid-90s. Like, I'm excited about that.
That's what was so fun, too, about Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
All the 90s stuff.
Yeah.
It was so
They
fun.
did it so well. Like, it was just like everything you see. There was some stuff that was just clearly 90s, and some was just kind of in the background. It's
Yeah.
just like a billboard for something. Like, it was.
What's it doing? It's loading.
I don't know. What did you do? Did you break
What
something?
are you talking about?
Church
For
is
the movie.
Church is up to something.
Oh,
Oh.
from the movie.
I thought
Yeah.
you meant your computer.
No,
It was
no.
motion, and I was
When
like,
they
what?
when they load the disc and
Oh,
and
they're all
it's
just
spinning
sitting
around
there.
on.
And it makes
See,
complete sense
and
to
this
them.
This is
Yeah,
how little we
Nick's
trust
just
you.
going,
You're like, what are you doing?
I know.
Oh yeah. So yes, we've got so July 4th. I have a feeling since that is going to be a holiday day. Like, I'm sure it'll drop at midnight or something like that. That might be a straight up full on binge end to end.
That's my plan.
That's gonna be amazing. In not so amazing news, if you are a fan of Supernatural, season 15 is going to be the end of
That's
Supernatural.
the other one I'm gonna have to binge.
Yeah.
I caught up
us
on
too.
it, and I'm already behind again.
So CW is making a lot of big changes. No Arrow after next season. No Supernatural after next season.
I have a
You have a
Theory?
theory?
theory.
That it's
Okay.
a demon.
A dancing demon.
Bunnies. Always bunnies. No, I don't really think it's a theory, but a wonder. Every now and then with Supernatural, they tease everyone and say, we're going to do a spin-off.
Okay.
With Jody and I think they call it the Witches of something or other. I can't quite remember. And then it doesn't happen. Well, with CW, when another show of theirs ended, the originals, they did a spin-off for the daughter and like some other people. So I'm wondering if now they'll just finally get the spin-off for Supernatural for their version of children. And then Misha and the other cast, they could pop in every now and then, but they're not a whole big part of it.
Yeah, because they've been doing this for 15 seasons. This has lasted longer than Cheers.
And it was supposed to have been
That's my
like
bar
a
for everything.
5-season
show.
Yeah.
Yeah. They told their crew first. They said, we just told the crew we're very excited about moving into our 15th season, but it will be our last. 15 years of the show has certainly changed my life. I wanted you to hear from us that we're excited about next year. It will be the finale, the big grand finale of an institution. So it is going to be. They said we've cried some tears and we'll cry some more. We're grateful and we'll work all the emotion into next season. It says, note that this family is not going anywhere even though the show will come to an end. It'll be a 20-episode final season. It says the show's about family. It's amazing and it's pride in its life and it has become family. So thank you guys for that. They also tweeted a picture basically from season 1. I guess that's Instagram. Yeah.
Are they gonna go back to season 1? Do you think they wrap it back around to the beginning?
I don't know. I'd never watched Supernatural.
I'm sure they will because
Do you
within
think it's gonna
15.
end in Lawrence, Kansas?
I would think so.
That would be awesome.
Who says you can't go home?
Bon Jovi does.
Yep.
So,
Nice.
I lost my train of thought with that. Sorry.
The president of CW has said, during a press tour, said if the ratings held up, the show would go on for as long as the cast wanted to do it. And so this may have been an internal cast decision. So it's basically the second highest ranked show on CW behind The Flash. So
It's very high, and it has a huge following. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, they have conventions just for Supernatural.
Yes, they do.
yeah, just straight up Supernatural conventions.
And that's one of the friendliest fan bases out there.
They're very inclusive
Yes.
and open and honest. But yeah, in that video, or the one that I saw on Instagram of them telling them, you could tell that Jared was like trying to keep it together. And
Yeah.
you clearly cried, and you're trying not to cry more.
Yeah. Well, that's
mean,
where he
it
met
was-
his wife.
Yes.
I mean,
And,
it's a big deal.
Yeah. And they looked like they had all been crying, but he was still
Yeah.
trying to keep it together.
15 years is a long time.
That's yeah, it's been a labor
Well,
of
and-
love for everyone involved.
And like they all go do things during like their off time together.
Yeah.
And stuff. So it's
And not to mention the crossover that they've had. Not the crossover with DC shows, but the like crossover with well, yeah, I guess some of the DC shows. How they've hung out as the crews have hung out together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not going to be around that anymore. And
that's
There was
true.
talk about like they wanted to figure out Stephen Amell wanted to try and figure out a way to get Oliver Queen into Supernatural. Like he wanted to
that
straight up cross
that
over
would
into
be
that show.
fantastic.
And so that would have
What
been
if he's leaving Arrow to be on the last season?
Supernatural.
Supernatural.
That would be
Wow.
amazing.
So they're
Supernatural
losing
Arrow.
And
two
it's-
heavyweights.
They're heaviest of heavyweight.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Flash is number 1, which I get, but
That surprises me, honestly.
yeah,
It doesn't
I mean,
surprise me
I
because it's a little more lighthearted.
I think Supernatural
You're right.
Supernatural is the only constant on that network when it was was it on UPN when it was
Yes.
United Paramount?
Yes,
Okay,
it
so
was.
started
Yes, it was.
UPN,
Back in the
WB,
days of Buffy
C-
and Angel and
Yeah.
Seventh Heaven,
Say
Smallville.
15 season, and then I don't think too much of it because I'm used to being around. And then you
Did-
see UPN, and I'm like, oh my
Did
goodness.
it go all the way back
Wait,
to
wait,
WB?
wait. No,
W-
not UPN.
WB.
WB.
So it didn't make it all the way back to UPN because that was United Paramount. It makes sense if it wouldn't.
Did UPN
No.
turn into WB?
Yes, UPN turned into WB,
think it
turned into
was-
CW.
WB.
I think
it's
I think
There's
it was
couple
a
of seasons
WB
back to
original.
WB.
I thought WB and UPN merged to become the CW.
I thought UPN was by. We'll figure this
I
out.
remember UPN and
We'll do some Googling.
WB were separate channels because Buffy jumped ship to UPN for its last season.
Oh, and then they merged
that
after
is,
that.
UPN and WB both ceased operations, and then birth of the CW, the UPN WB network merger deal that rocked television. That's literally one of the titles. So
It was like
That's where we
Fox
got
and Disney.
all
Do you
of our
remember the
teen-
dancing
on a much
frog
smaller scale.
on the
yeah.
WB?
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you remember in Spaceballs where they had the dancing frog?
So that will be, and yeah, they're losing Arrow, they're losing that, but we're also gaining Batwoman. So
And Seventh Heaven is coming back.
No.
yeah,
It's going to be called 14th Heaven.
14th Heaven.
with a completely different cast, considering what happened to one of the people on
Right.
that. Which
One of the
not
people?
going into
No,
it.
we can't.
Not going into that.
We'll talk about it later.
You can Google
Oh.
that when the
The
mics
dad.
aren't running. Yeah.
The dad?
So 2 years after Rogue One, a Star Wars story, comes out, people are still talking about it, including one of the original writers has said the version prior to his involvement didn't have, and this is Chris Weitz talking, says the version prior to my involvement didn't have everyone die. As a matter of fact, it ended with a wedding. I think it was a presumption that Disney wouldn't allow characters to die with such abandon. All right, my mom just texted me something. Hang on. Look what I found while cleaning out the closet. An unused $5 Blockbuster gift card. So,
Lynn, we were cleaning out some of our closets, and Lynn found his Blockbuster gift card.
yeah. So as a matter of fact, it ended with a wedding. I think it's a presumption that Disney wouldn't allow characters to die with such abandon. He didn't say who got married at the end of the initial script, but they said, it was basically people just assumed that Disney wasn't going to let everybody die.
Why? Disney has someone die in like all of their movies.
I don't know. They said it felt they said, well, it's kind of necessary because nobody ever mentions them or sees them again. And so, yeah, they're just going to wander off. Like, yeah, no, they have to go. He says the Darth Vader part I can't take credit for. That was a later invention, he says, when Darth Vader came in and just murdered everybody. That was pretty amazing. It is, he says there were some changes. A lot of the people who did die were put in different locations than they were in the original script and were originally shot. So they reshot. That must have been some of the reshoots that they talked about for Rogue One that most people were concerned about. I'm now concerned about sneaky meteors. Have you read this article? Have you seen this?
Not yet.
Okay.
Tell me
This
about
is
these sneaky
this is from space.com. Sneaky meteor evades Earthling detection, explodes with the force of 10 atomic bombs.
Are we sure it was really a meteor, not an atomic bomb?
Yeah, they said on December 18th,
We
2018.
could have launched it into space.
On December 18th.
It could have been in a satellite disguised, and then they just hit their
It could
launch
have been.
code.
It was very sneaky.
Yeah,
It was very
We
sneaky.
definitely underestimated the sneakiness.
Yeah.
exactly.
Uh,
I've seen Space Wars.
the meteor was the size of a school bus. Exploded over the Earth with an impact of roughly 10 atomic bombs. Second largest meteor impact since the organization began tracking them 30 years ago. The only one that was bigger was when that fireball exploded over Russia. The people had the dash cam videos of in February of 2013. They said, well, hardly anyone noticed it was happening. Nobody saw it coming. It evaded all detection.
That's
This is
frightening.
why we need Space Force.
This is why we need Space Force. So the space rock in question shattered over the Bering Sea, Pacific, between Russia and Alaska. So it wasn't really over anything inhabited. It probably killed a lot of crabs. There's probably mutant crabs now. Deadliest Catch season 17, mutant crabs. Just gonna put it out there.
Or we now have a
Season one
bunch
gets
of
real.
Zoidbergs.
Zoidberg.
Zoidberg.
So NASA didn't even know that it happened. The U.S. Air Force had to tell them. Their missile monitoring satellites, which did not have a nuclear bomb in them, were among the first to detect the blast. It was also registered on infrasound detectors that measure low-frequency waves that the human ears can't even hear. So the meteor weighed 1,500 tons, 32 feet, was traveling through the atmosphere at 71,582 miles per hour when it exploded.
Where's Bruce Willis? We didn't need him.
Exactly. Yeah, they said basically it was too small for it to be detected. Seems like you need to up the sensitivity of those.
Just a tad?
Just a touch.
Just a tad, or we need superheroes.
Yep. So, apparently NASA's asteroid hunters are most concerned about objects that measure 460 feet across, because that basically has the potential to obliterate the entire United States. So 460 miles or bigger is what they care about. Anything smaller, not so much.
I mean, if it takes out half of the country, then it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's only 200 feet across. Like East Coast, West Coast.
So
who
this
knows
one
what
was
happens?
32 feet, right?
32 feet.
So
School bus, basically.
It's like the magic school bus had an accident.
So what would that have done?
Well, 10 atomic bombs. Do the
I mean,
math.
that's,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, probably a state, I would imagine. Rhode Island for sure.
Probably not Alaska.
Probably not Alaska.
Alaska and Texas would be safe-ish.
Yep. California probably would have been pushed off into the ocean for good.
Yeah.
It just would have cracked just along the lines, like on all the maps, and just
No,
But those
Comic-Con.
13 colonies,
yeah.
any of them could have been gone.
It's just that's the crazy thing. The stuff like this probably happens all the time, and we're just like, we don't even know about it. They don't tell us about it. But that's what's going to be. Hey, it's time to stand.
We all almost became like the dinosaurs.
That's true. So, yeah. So beware of sneaky meteors. Also, here's a PSA for everybody. Everyone beware of Facebook again. Facebook apps logged users' passwords in plain text. So, which is for the non-technical means basically like you open Notepad, wrote all your passwords, and saved it, and anybody could open it
Send
and put it
out
on the
to
internet.
the internet.
Yeah, so hundreds of millions of Facebook users had their credentials logged in plain text by various applications written by Facebook employees. This is from Brian Krebs, an article on Ars Technica. Those credentials were searched by 2,000 Facebook engineers and developers more than 9 million times. Yeah, they said this was found during a routine security review in January, but they want everybody to know that don't worry. Like, there's no evidence that any of this ever got out of Facebook, that it was only accessible inside Facebook, because
All their upstanding.
that's the most
employees.
secure place on the planet. And so, basically, I guess there's an anonymous source within Facebook that is feeding Brian Krebs some information and basically saying it might be worse than they're actually saying in terms of numbers and things like that. So if you use a password on Facebook, things like that, now they're going to... they're going to notify you if your username and password was among those that were compromised within Facebook, but they won't flat out say it. They'll say like, hey, sometimes we need to review your security settings. They always obscure it, very strange. Not like, we screwed up, my bad, like change your password, or do a forced password change, something like that. So they're recommending change your password on Facebook and Instagram. Pick strong and complex passwords for all your accounts. 2-factor is always a good idea. Don't reuse your password across multiple platforms.
Okay, Facebook.
Whatever you say, Facebook.
I know that you're listening to this because you probably monitor everything that is on.
That's true.
And we are on Facebook right now.
We are on Facebook right
Get it together.
now. Yes.
Thank you.
I can't be too mad at Facebook yesterday because I was streaming Anthem last night, and I saw their like streaming algorithm in action last night. Just playing, a couple people watching, no big deal, whatever, and then just thunk, 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 just the numbers start going up, 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 up. And basically, Facebook randomly chooses streams to dump viewers to, and apparently ours was one of those last night. So in the span of like 2 hours, we had like 1,000 people watch.
Okay, Facebook.
1,000 views of the video or
I
whatever.
know you're watching. Thank you.
So we can't. So yeah, thanks everybody who at least checked in and watched and things like that. So
Facebook just pulled an about face on you.
They were like, "Oh,
They were like,
taking
we're
that."
gonna get
And
your
then they're like,
password. Oh, you're mad about that.
Wait.
you're mad about this. Here's
Give
some,
him some streamers.
give him some
quick,
viewers.
quick. Okay, what about now?
Yeah. So
I did.
it was good. But in other news, you want to talk about this new Google gaming platform, or you want to talk about how GameStop is going to change all their stores?
Okay. I'd heard about the Google gaming platform. Let's talk about GameStop.
GameStop.
Are they gonna make you quit trying to buy their?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna, if you can believe it, it's gonna get even worse.
Oh.
GameStop appears to be making plans to shift its store away from just being retail location and more towards a quote cultural experience. I'm thinking like video game bar. Apparently, the new this has not been confirmed yet, but they're being referred to as GameStop 2.0. This is coming from when they just announced a new CEO.
God bless this.
Nice, another one. They said they want to move the stores to more quote cultural experience, so they don't really define what that is, but they do say it will do so by creating new stores and more membership programs. There it is. More membership programs that expand on the existing power-up reward service that the retailer offers. So now when you go in there, and there might be some more TVs to play games, things like that, which will be great. But you might only be able to play those games if you're part of some sort of membership, or the GameStop employee is going to come up behind you all sneaky, like he's going to like sidle up to you and be like, "Hey, you want this new membership?"
Like a meteor.
Exactly, like a sneaky meteor.
If they
So
did that to
that's
me,
our new title, by the way.
Yeah,
Sneaky,
that's
like
good.
a sneaky
That's
meteor.
right there.
GameStop, it's my life. Stop it.
Go away. Nice, another one. There's a lot of
I
Bon
don't think
Jovi.
she even meant to.
Yeah, we're gonna hashtag Bon Jovi in this one. There's a lot of that. So,
Did you know that was a Bon Jovi song?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like one of maybe five. I know.
uh,
That's wanted, dead or alive.
nice. Jeffrey Grubb posted, he said, sources told me about GameStop 2.0, which is an initiative to open new kinds of stores, offer new kinds of memberships, shift to a cultural experience. What I didn't realize is the new CEO of GameStop is the former exec of Advanced Auto Parts. So, I don't know. I always have liked Advanced Auto Parts. Like
Yeah,
when I need stuff, like
Makes sense.
I can't...
I've never gone in. I don't go in Advanced very often. There's not one around us. But I've never gone in one and had them go, hey, you doing okay? You doing all right? Hey, would you like to pre-order any lugnuts or anything?
But
Hey,
I do.
tell you what,
Does Captain Marvel lug nuts?
those lugnuts you just purchased, when you walk out of the store, if you want to bring them back in, we'll give you 30% of it.
Yeah. That's what GameStop
Put
does.
that towards brand new lugnuts.
These all new.
Hashtag lug nuts. Says they're going to try and make the stores feel less crowded, which I don't know how they're going to do that because the stores are so small anyways.
Make them bigger.
Make them bigger?
I guess. Extra TVs will be playing more
Kick
game
people out?
trailers. A new layout should start rolling out in August, apparently. But like, I think of like any of the GameStops I go into, and yeah, it's basically like, because we talked about this about a year ago, or actually no, it was further than that. One of the early episodes about GameStop hiring the person that basically analyzes the path you take through retail stores, and they redesign their stores in that way. So apparently that guy didn't do a good job. So, but if you
Or
think,
he did a good job and they just didn't listen to him.
that's more like GameStop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm
So
trying to think of the path I take on their store.
I feel
Yeah.
like
I go
People have
straight
probably
to
been-
clearance. Wherever the clearance
Oh,
section
yeah.
is, that's where
Yeah.
I go.
I start
And normally-
I go down and I
a lot
walk
of times
my way
it's
back
when you
up.
walk in, it's just to the right.
No, they've moved it to the
They've
back
moved it
now.
to the back, you're
So
right.
you have to walk through the whole store.
that you have to see
Yeah.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
There's
So
science.
maybe
behind
they
that.
listen, but I feel like people have been telling GameStop for like 10 years, hey, here's how you could run it a little better. And they've been like, nah.
Well, that's
We
the-
know what we're doing.
Nah.
I mean, GameStop has been
GameStop.
GameStop has been
Digital.
in
It's going
trouble.
digital.
Yeah, it's
Nah,
been in trouble for
nah.
years,
A long.
and it's they've closed some stores and things like that. But you can only reinvent yourself so many times before you're like, okay, you need to sell pops, and other cool gear because nobody like
Maybe the hot topic of video games.
the hot topic of video games. That's pretty good actually in terms of that. You could sell some games, but like you said, it's digital. But
How
if
about the merchandise?
it's all, it's the
Collectors.
Yeah.
I have noticed over time the merch section keeps getting a little bigger and a little
Yeah.
bigger.
Okay.
Well, because Think
When was the
Geek,
last time-
Right?
Sorry, go ahead.
Think Geek owns them, or the same people own Think Geek.
I think
Yes.
Think Geek bottom or
But,
something.
or yeah, something like
Because
that.
you
Yeah.
see more stuff like Think Geek that's over there too.
Yeah.
now.
When was the last time you bought a game from GameStop? Anyone?
The last recollection I have of one, Halo
Maybe I've
3
When was the last time you bought merch from GameStop?
within the
Black
last 12
Friday.
months, easily.
There you go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Lynn quit buying. If he can, he quit buying games there because one time he got one, and because they take them out of the cases or whatever they do, when he got it home, it was all scratched up, and he just quit.
So,
Oh. Yeah.
So maybe if you
GameStop, they
don't do that-
used to have basically like a checkout program, I think.
Mhm.
So that might be what that was. Was it a used or was it a brand new game?
No, it's brand new. It was like
Oh,
it
okay.
was in order to keep people from stealing. They would just have the cases out or
And
something.
scratch it all up.
And no, the game would never be in
I
there.
remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you would go and bring them the case, and they would put the game in it.
Yes, and they'd
Yeah,
put
I
them in those
remember
paper
that.
sleeves, and they'd have those
Yeah.
files in the back that go
Mhm.
through the paper sleeves. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You
true.
worked there. You should remember.
I remember some stuff.
He's probably not allowed to talk about some stuff,
I don't
even now. Jeremy's going to have some bland,
Circle of
non-spicy
trust.
lunch, he says. See you later, Jeremy.
Okay, so
Fun, Jeremy. I hope your tummy feels better.
Jeremy was the man last night. So we went to Mother Road Market, which I didn't even know existed. I love this town. It's amazing. So many awesome things that you just find out of left field. But anyway, have you been to this place?
No.
Okay. Amazing vendors there. There's a place called Chicken and the Wolf. Has excellent chicken tenders. The mild is too spicy.
Yeah, see,
goes-
that has, like,
You get right. You can get.
Yeah, we get
Yeah.
original because no.
yeah.
No.
I'll never do spicy again.
Jeremy got the.
Not after the jalapenos.
There's original, mild, medium, hot, extra hot. The mild is too spicy. Mild is too hot. Even the guy that I bought the chicken from said that.
Okay.
He said, I don't even know why we have the extra hot. It's so hot. It's too hot. Jeremy got a chicken tender after eating everything else that was hot. Just to try it.
Well, first he started off with medium.
He started off with medium
And then he had to get ice cream.
because
It was hot.
it was so hot.
I'm detecting a pattern on why this may have been a bad idea.
And then I feel like he was too intrigued
Yeah.
and had the, well, how hot is it? Feel.
Yeah.
And
Do they give you the scale? The hotness scale?
no,
Like,
here's the
okay.
thing. So you think it's just like gradual increases in hotness?
yeah.
He said the medium was pretty hot,
Yeah.
but the hot was
Atomic.
twice, was
Yeah.
double.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big jump.
He was
He ended up getting like a knife and fork because he didn't want to get any of it on his
on
hands.
his eyes and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because just the smell of it or something made you like cough or was teared up or something. right?
he was basically kind of where Shanther is in relation to me, and he started cutting into it, and this waft of
Fumes.
poison just came
Gasoline.
into my face, and I had to
Hades.
go.
Yeah.
Hades opened up.
And
Yeah.
then I
Hades
tried
on a
piece
chicken
later,
tender.
and he was not lying.
Wow.
I tried a little piece of the batter. That's it.
Yeah.
Like his eyes
No.
just kept watering like the whole rest of
he
the
was
night.
crying.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, like in a manly way, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Very
But he said that he would eat extra hot for the kids for extra life.
Yes, Jeremy did say
Ooh.
that.
We'll have to do like a live remote on location.
Yes. That would be
Rock that
awesome.
dope.
Jeremy
You
absolutely
have
did
to
say
make
that
it
he
worth
would.
it.
So
like
yeah.
donate $100 or
Yeah.
something.
That's
In
true.
case he has to go to the hospital.
Well, there's
go
that-
to the hospital for 50.
Yeah, there's that YouTube show that it's the hot wings, the hot wings guy who makes it whatever. And yeah, I mean some of those like when Terry Crews can't handle it,
Mhm.
like, and he's basically hallucinating, like they have that scale, that hotness scale. I'm surprised. I mean, they probably don't have it there for a reason because I'm sure some of the same stuff is mixed in for that type of.
The only warning that I saw was it said like choose wisely, something like that, because if you get something that's too hot, we will not refund it. If it's so hot you can't eat it, we will not refund.
Have a sign right in the front when you order that warns you of the hotness, and
it's like this sort of hot Balrog Hades. Like
I think
really
it starts
Balrog
with
is
Balrog.
it starts it. And the guys said they're about to bring in, like in a couple months or something, they're about to bring in extra hot.
I feel like North Korea has something to do with that. Like, it's something that has to be illegally imported, like muled in somehow. Like, it can't be legal.
Clint Eastwood is involved.
Exactly.
It was amazing chicken, though.
Oh, it's so good.
It was very good chicken, regular.
Very good.
It was great.
Awesome.
If you're in Tulsa, check out the Chicken and the Wolf.
Awesome.
If you're the Chicken and the Wolf, give me chicken for that plug.
Only extra hot.
Oh.
So yeah,
I
we're
want to continue
that could
to
be.
live.
You mentioned Extra Life, so yeah, check out extralife.gatherthenerds.com for stuff. We'll ramp stuff up as we get closer to it. Figure out what we're gonna do, if we're gonna do competing teams or one giant team, or
I think we should do a giant team because Lynn said he wouldn't be on my team.
I was gonna say Lynn's on my side, so no matter what happens, so I'm good with this. But
And that makes me sad. Not that he's on your team, but he won't be on my team.
well, you
How
have to
did
think
you lose him?
because
we
of
lost
you.
Immediately.
Yes.
Because of you. So as long as he's not on the team, like he could, you could probably come along, and so could you.
That's probably true.
We lost him immediately.
Although
Why?
You tickled him.
Yeah.
Because I tickled him.
I did
Yeah.
threaten to
Sam,
spray
it's
paint his
for
beard, though,
kids.
so I don't think he would allow me
I won't let her
anymore.
spray paint your beard.
Because
Nice.
that's why yesterday when he said that, I was like, Lynn, I'll protect you. And he was like, no, I'm not being on your team.
Oh, all right. We'll wrap this up with a big game announcement. So
I'll just join whatever team Sam is on.
nice. I'll come home and he's like, "I'm on your team." Like I didn't even know he was here. I'm on your team, and I changed all your locks. Like it's the only way that I'm safe.
He's just been here this whole time.
And
I never
then
noticed
I'll
that he
just
doesn't
rise
talk.
up right behind him.
Like what's a giant Amazon box? I don't know. So, Google has announced their own gaming platform, which has gotten a lot of attention for a lot of people, mainly because it's completely streaming based. They basically have put out a few pieces of information. One of them being it is more powerful than the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X combined in terms of processing power. 10 teraflops of processing power, pure streaming.
Is teraflop a real thing?
It is.
Are they just running out of
Yes.
ways to okay.
Yeah. It was started with gigaflops, and then we went to teraflops, and
I didn't know flop was a thing.
I didn't either.
Other than like a belly flop.
so they're talking about a platform so powerful that it can last many years that basically you can play things all across basically as this platform. You play it on the hardware, or you can play it on in your browser, stuff like that. They did a demo, or not a demo, but kind of like a trial of this thing. They allowed you to play the latest Assassin's Creed in Chrome this year, where you could basically play it as a browser-based version of the new Assassin's Creed. They did that. But they talked about like latency and things like that, and they're talking about basic internet, 25 megabits, something like that. Will be able to play without latency, and they're talking about straight up 60 frames a second, like high quality stuff. They've also come out and said that, a lot of this stuff happens in the Google data centers in the background, and we're not telling you what's going on. Like there's a lot of black box going on in terms
because
of
they got rid of the we won't do evil thing.
yeah, exactly. Like we won't do evil, so we're just going to make video games. But it's completely cloud based. Now we know that Xbox is doing a similar thing with which initially was called Scarlet Cloud. And I think they just call it Project Cloud now, but
Probably after we made fun of it.
probably. I don't know. I kind of like Scarlet Cloud.
Seems ominous.
Exactly.
That just shows you never
Mysterious.
contracted it.
So when they made this announcement, there were some people in the audience, including none other than Phil Spencer. Major Nelson himself was there when they made this announcement. And immediately there was an email that went out to the Xbox group that basically said, hey, this is validation of everything we've been working on for the past 2 years. That a full streaming platform is the wave of the future. This is what we're gonna do. Obviously we just have to work and continue to work hard on it in terms of what the next Xbox type platform is going to be. And so if I had to guess, he wasn't overly concerned about the disparity in processing power and things like that. So I'm very curious to see what we'll get from Xbox. They've said they will go big at E3 this June because Sony isn't even going to be in the building for E3. So I imagine we'll see Microsoft's response.
Yeah, they have to take advantage of that.
Oh, yeah, they have to. But,
so,
yeah, it's going to be... This is just good for us.
If it's streaming, is it going to be like a Netflix for video games? Like you pay your subscription and you can just go pick a game?
Nobody really knows what that's going to look like for them yet. But something like that, that reminds me of the old Sega Channel back in the day where you had the Sega Channel cartridge and you plug the thing into it. It depends. Like the only downside to this is for so long there's been two platforms to develop for, PlayStation and Xbox. Mm-hmm. By adding this Google Stadia thing, they have now just increased the cost of development for all video games. Because if you're going to be on all...
also Nintendo.
True. But they don't... You don't see Destiny on Nintendo Switch.
That's true. I know what you're saying. I just wanted to throw it out there.
And you also don't see Zelda on anything other than the Switch. But so it depends. Like I'll be curious to see what market this kind of hits, because if they increase the development costs of all video games now, at some point are they going to break the $60 barrier?
Yeah.
And I think they'd have to. Or it's going to be $60 and there's going to be so much DLC you have to buy down the road. I mean, that's the Anthem is doing a full, here's the game, you get all the expansion and stuff like that. They're purely built on microtransactions, which are not game impacting, just if you want to look pretty. So,
isn't that how Fortnite is?
Yeah, Fortnite's 100% that way, and they made $5 bajillion just so you could look different. That's all that was. And so, it's interesting to have another player in the no pun intended there. To have another player in there. Hey Jay, how are you? In the gaming market, I'll be real curious to see what this does in terms of development costs, and if we're going to see AAA titles on this, or is Google literally going to throw so much money around that they're going to have AAA exclusives? It's Google. They can. They have more money than they know what to do with.
I feel like they'd have to have at least a couple exclusives to be taken seriously to make people want to try it.
True. I was trying to think it would have to be...
I don't know what, and maybe something brand new.
It'd have to be new IP, I would think.
Because, Xbox has Halo, so you know that they're not going to get...
Halo,
I guess they could do a new bit, because if Bungie's gone...
Yeah, you've got Halo and Gears of War, you got Bungie working on Destiny. There were rumors of a new Bungie IP for a while. And, yeah, they'd have to do something new, and something new and something from a studio that people would follow, like a Rocksteady or a BioWare or something.
Gearbox.
Yeah, here's another article. I didn't put it in here, but there's another article that Valve has an on-staff. It's like an on-staff gaming or on-staff psychologist of some kind, and basically, the thought is long-term. Basically using your physical responses to rewards in games, physical reaction and heart rate and stuff like that, to basically tune the type of loot you get versus the type of loot you don't. You're like, oh, I got a flamethrower, whoop-de-doo, and you don't really care. Oh, I got a rocket launcher, and so it would literally tune the reward system of that game to your physical responses. You want to talk about video addiction?
Yes.
Wow.
So I've got to get off that. Yeah, I've got to get off that Half-Life 5 or 3 or whatever it is.
Another thing they could do is they could jump in and try to. I think Steam usually does this but get in with the indie developers.
True.
Because that would be cheaper if you are going to stream it and have a subscription.
Yeah.
But indie's getting really big.
And the thing to consider too, like just like anything, you know, your internet provider, most internet providers, not all of them, but most of them have caps in terms of how much data you can pull. If you're streaming your games all the time, like you're gonna hit that. So Lynn says that they have Ubisoft on their side, there may be access to a bunch of established IPs. That's true. That's a very excellent point. The next Assassin's Creed is only on Google Game Box, Omega Sphere, whatever it is. So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, it's good for us, but it could also be bad for us. It's one of those. We'll just have to wait and see.
Ready for it.
Do we need another platform?
No.
No.
I think we do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, but
The console wars are already too strong as is.
that's true. That's true. I'll stick with the
If they could
Xbox.
keep it cheaper, like if you don't have to have an actual console,
There'll be
so
an
you don't
actual
have to
console.
buy a $500 something or other.
The thing you bring up a very interesting point. The thing about the console is they've talked about it being like a low cost of entry. What if, I mean, Google's got the money to basically subsidize a console.
Mm-hmm.
What if it's a $99 console that's more powerful than any console that's out currently? And then you do the Netflix subscription like you talked about. Do you work for Google?
I should.
You've got the Netflix style subscription within subsidizes the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
Because then if you have like, I don't know how many subscribers Netflix has, but millions of them.
yeah,
And then you do $10 a month. That more than pays for like your $60 game.
yeah,
Or
Yeah.
however much game.
100. Yeah. I
Did
mean,
you say it was called the Omega Sphere?
that was just a South Park reference.
Oh. I was really excited because I thought they could make it like spherical,
Yeah.
and then it would be totally different
Is
from
the-
like all of the
I
other
think it was the Okama. I
consoles.
think it was the Okama Game Sphere or something. I think a game that was the South Park.
Drat.
Yeah, it could be very interesting. Here's the thing, but if someone's
Got
gonna,
my hopes up.
I'm sorry. What this has also done is there's been a lot of leaked photos of the packaging for the new Xbox One S diskless version, where basically it is a straight up just hard drive, no disk, stuff like that, and it literally says like no disk drive, and it's got a picture of a CD with a line through it. Like you won't be able to literally pick up the box without understanding that it is doesn't have a disk drive in it.
And yet, you know, someone will buy it and then be like, "Why won't my disc go in here?
Exactly. Where do I put my discs?
How do I?"
And it does. It looks like the existing 1S, just with no disk drive in it. Like it's. But yeah, June is going to be. You know, it's not that far away. 3 months. E3, and we'll have to check that out and see. We might have to do a. Depending on when Microsoft does their thing, we could do a Mystery Science Theater talking heads over the live stream.
That would be
commentary
fun.
thing. That could be fun. Even if it is after the fact, we might still do it after the fact just for fun. So, I think that's it. Is that it? I think that's it.
I think that's it.
I think that's all we got for this week.
It's a pretty light week.
It was difficult to dig stuff up this week. It was.
I felt bad because when I went in to put the Supernatural link in, I was like, "Oh, there's only like 2 things in here."
Yeah, there was really nothing in here to. But so, I used my Googles and we figured it out. Church, you've been typing a lot over there. What are you up to?
I have been typing names of Bon Jovi songs. I have subtly slipped into the conversation.
Nice.
We are up to, I counted Hannah's.
Okay.
You give love a bad name.
Stop.
Here's the thing. Technically, that is applicable based on the conversation earlier that he's just like you fall in and out of love. You know, in and out of love. By the way, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a deep pull. Wow, that's a 700-800 degrees Fahrenheit pull.
So,
Sorry, if people who are watching don't know, I'm a massive Bon Jovi fan. I've seen him live like 9 times.
but it's accurate.
That's true. I didn't even catch it when you said it. Like
I know. You didn't catch a lot.
We were supposed to help more, but Hannah and I are not good at being subtle.
That's okay. I just
so
took
we
off with
were
it.
afraid.
Yeah, that's what I told. I was
This
like,
is the
"Listen,
plotting that happens
I'm not good
against
at
me.
That's
Facebook.
why I got in like a couple of them. And then I just, in my head, all that went through my head was singing Wanted Dead or Alive. So I'm just like, can't.
Right? I just keep thinking living on a prayer, and I'm like, no, that's too obvious.
Yeah. Sure. All right, how many do we have there? How many did you get in there?
21.
Dang. That's pretty good.
Raise your hands. If anyone doesn't want to go see John Barrowman, raise your hands.
Okay,
Oh.
got you. Wow, okay.
Stick
New
to your
Jersey.
guns. Good job, Keanu.
You really wow, you went with a Young Guns song? Technically, that's not Bon Jovi. Technically, that's John Bon Jovi. That's a solo album.
Well, I'm going to count it anyway.
Okay,
I believe.
okay.
Hey, you know,
That's
until
these days, yeah.
I always thought Shanther
No,
was
sorry,
the
that's Good
biggest
Faith.
Bon Jovi
Oh no,
fan,
it's him.
But yeah, I've learned something today.
Yeah.
Crush.
Okay.
Crush was easy.
Yeah.
In and Out of Love. That was great.
That might
And,
be that might be your most impressive because most people don't even know that song.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah. What else you got?
I have made him listen to a lot of Bon Jovi.
It's true.
Yeah, and she does love me, even though her love lies occasionally.
Love lies. Really? Oh.
Don't lie to me, Tom Holland. Lie to me.
Lie to me. Okay. These days, yeah.
What was it? What's the motto in the Avengers trailer? What is it?
Whatever
Everyone
it
keeps
takes.
saying?
Yeah.
I thought it was if that's what it takes.
No. Okay. Wow.
Um,
Plotting. Facebook. They plot.
What is
Man,
much
I've been
of
waiting
they?
100 years for the New
'Cause we
Mutants
suck
movie
at
to
it.
come out, and I'll probably wait the next 100 years.
I don't remember you actually saying that. So
Go
either
back.
I either
Go
I
back and
completely
watch.
like.
I did.
Because it was about the New Mutants one, and
Nice.
I remember thinking,
Next
really?
100
You want
years?
New Mutants that bad?
I know. I was thinking.
I don't want it that bad,
I
but I
didn't-
do want to see it
I didn't
badly.
pick up on it. I was like,
Wow.
100 years.
Okay.
So, Daredevil might be coming back. Oh, no. Say it isn't so.
Say
Really?
it isn't so. Wow.
Although that always
okay.
confuses because
Weezer.
Yeah. Okay.
And what was it you wanted me to get on the auction? When they're going to auction off the parts?
Oh, the Daredevil
with
suit.
stuff? Yeah, well, if you can hook me up with it.
Hook me up. Nice.
So, and it's very cool. You know, you're talking about how Stranger Things lets us go back to
The
to
80s.
childhood, and it's man, there's so many
caught
ways
that
to
one.
do that these days.
These days. Nice.
Oh, I thought
That's
that's
where I
when
thought
you
it was
said
the
you can't go
giveaway.
home.
Yeah.
But I think you said
So
you can't go home.
Can't go home. Yeah.
Yeah.
we just made a big thing out of complicated. She was like, "It's a complicated hashtag. It's complicated."
Hashtag it's complicated.
So let's
There's-
see what else we got.
There's some deep. That's some deep pulls. Like I'm impressed.
Well,
Well, you know, he
That-
commits.
I
He
do
really does.
the spinoff to Stranger Things, which I don't really dig that. I don't. It's about people who are broken. Well, everybody's broken. That's nothing new. Everybody's broken.
I know this. Yeah, but I'm trying to place the album. Okay.
I only
That
knew
might
the
be a
name of one
B-side.
Bon Jovi.
And then I just blatantly said, "Who says you can't go home?"
Yeah, I caught that one
Yeah.
very easily. Yeah.
Because I thought he's not picking up on these. I'm just gonna throw a softball right over the plate there.
Wow.
And then Supernatural's been around for 15 years. It's going to be really hard for them to get over. I mean, it's been a labor of love for everyone involved.
Labor of love. Wow. So you didn't even go with the obvious, like, yeah.
No, I didn't wanna-
I'll
I
give
don't-
you credit for this.
I don't
Like
want to
you,
throw out titles that were obvious.
yeah. That's impressive.
That's why we couldn't play because we only know the obvious one.
I give.
Yeah.
I
I'm
thought-
not
I thought
good
Raise
with
Your Hands was gonna
remembering
be
things
right off the bat. Was
like
gonna
that.
No. No, I didn't.
Didn't you criticize Facebook and then like turn around and really give them some credit there? So
I said thanks.
so Facebook was going, she's on to us. Throw the GTN some streams. Okay. All right, they're happy. Yeah, what about now?
What about, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. See, Facebook, this is what I have to deal with on a weekly
God
basis.
bless this mess.
I saw, yeah, that one was very obvious.
You've never been to the Mother Road Market?
No.
It's amazing. There's so many things there that are fantastic. It's one of those things about Tulsa that you don't know about till it exists. It's one of the reasons I love this town.
I caught that one too.
Okay,
yeah.
good. And then Hams just randomly said, "Do you give love a bad name?"
It's true.
I
That's
tried.
impressive.
That was mine. I was like, that was it.
That's really
And then
impressive.
she also said, "It's my life," and
Yeah.
she talked about Wanted.
Because in my head, it's still going on in my head. I'm like,
Yeah.
dead or alive.
See what happened last night.
I had to hear that all the way home.
Yeah,
Just
you
that
know-
part. Yeah. I
Sam,
was
you
like,
know what
I'm
you
a
have
ca-
to do now.
Yes, I sung it. I go, I'm a cowboy
There's our intro.
on a steel horse.
When we
I
were
ride.
planning this last night, Amanda and
I'm
Hannah
gonna have you
and I
karaoke
just
some Bon
kept
Jovi for
singing,
Extra Life, 'cause
and they
that's
were
gonna
like,
be awesome.
"You can't sing at him. He's gonna figure it out if you
Yeah.
just keep singing at him." And we're like, "We can't do it unless we sing."
Who's involved in said plot here other than...
It was just us.
Okay.
And we
I
were.
Who
mean,
knew
Sam
about
was
it?
present.
Sam
Yeah.
had knowledge of it. Jeremy had knowledge of it.
Sam,
No,
you've betrayed me.
I'm pretty sure that Sam was like, this is why I'm not on your team. I'm pretty sure Sam was like, mm-mm.
Oh, all right.
Sam is never involved in any of that.
No.
I appreciate that. That was good. That was impressive.
But yeah, I think it started because we were like, should we do something? And I was like, listen, I can't do things because I'm not subtle. There's nothing subtle about me. And he was trying to think of subtle things. And every time he'd throw out a song title, we would just start singing it. And he's like, you can't do that. And I'm like, I already told you.
I tried to get Superman Tonight in there at one point, but it just wasn't fitting.
Yeah. Well, here's the... at least he didn't ask for a musical episode, because that would have never happened. Like, there will never be a musical episode of GTN as long as I'm on it.
I've got a theory.
Bunnies.
That
So.
it's a demon.
A dancing demon. No,
All right, that's
something is
enough.
on right there.
That's
Stop.
the only part I know about that whole thing is the bunny song. And all I know is it's bunnies.
All right. This has
might
been...
Bunnies aren't just
bunnies.
cute like everybody supposes. They got them hoppy legs and twitchy little noses. And what's with all the carrots? What do they need such good eyesight for
Yes,
anyway?
it's the Buffy musical episode.
How do you... yeah. No, I
'Cause
understand.
we're
And the
Very
problem
in
is
and
he
out.
remembers all these things.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the steel trap. All right. This has been episode 119 of Gather the Nerds. Sneak you like a meteor. Hashtag Bon Jovi. Hashtag lugnuts. I'm Cav, that Shanther.
Have a nice day.
She's trying to.
Nice. I like it. Church.
I had to get one in.
Be kind, guys.
Hannah.
Naughty, you pull.
See you guys. Bye-bye.